try to remember. But when everything is coming back to me, I feel as if my memory is paralyzed.
Now let's see. What is the last thing you can remember?
I don't know.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grave Matters. I'm Creepy Clown Girl, and alongside of me is the Sleeping Wendigo. Unfortunately, Filia Noctis and Phoenix Fire narrations cannot be here tonight. But hello, Wendigo.
Hello.
Oh, and let's also say hello real quick to Midnight Researcher, who's the man behind the yellow line tonight. Hello, Seth. So, who do we have in chat there, Wendigo, before we announce our announcements and who our guest is? I see DHT. Hello.
Yep, I see Sock Goblin, Derringer, and Josie. Hello,
Hi.
guys.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. So our first announcement is, and then I'll let you announce the other one, is congratulations to Phoenix Fire Narrations on reaching 1K subscribers. Wendigo, who's our next?
And I would like to congratulate Furberries for reaching 2,000 subscribers.
Congratulations to the both of you. Awesome job. Wendigo, who's our guest tonight?
Well, tonight we have Four Shot Pasta. Welcome, Four Shot.
Hello!
Four Shot.
Good to be here.
Glad to have you here. I see Pimp Demon. Hello, Pimp Demon. Hi.
Welcome.
Oh. So, Four Shot, tell us a little bit about your, for those that are with us or may watch this video later, that may not be familiar with you, your channel, and your avatar. Can you tell us a little bit about you, please?
Yeah, so I started with narrating, and as I did some of that, I ended up getting into writing. You may not know my name, but you may know one of my stories. One of them being My Roommate is Slenderman, and then another one which Vidith narrated, which he put the title as The Cryptid Detective, if I remember correctly.
Awesome.
And then what was the next part of the question? Sorry.
Tell us about your avatar and how you got your name.
So my avatar, currently, I'm working on getting a new one because this one isn't actually original. This is a character from League of Legends, and it's a specific skin, Project Jin, and I kind of just went with it because I like the character. Essentially, the character is a serial killer who makes art makes art out of his victims.
Ooh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And I just particularly like the skin, and my name actually comes from that character because I used to main him back when I played League of Legends. Because he's obsessed with the number 4, and he had 4 bullets in his gun, so 4 shot, and then he was a bottom laner because it's a 3-lane map style game, and so he was generally played in the bottom lane, and so then I just ended up swapping out the bot for pastas when I decided to get into the horror community, and yeah, because of creepypastas.
Awesome. It's really cool.
Thank you.
This is cool. Excuse me. So if you guys aren't familiar, please check out his YouTube channel and his Reddit page and check out some of his stories. So, Wendigo, too much.
All right, Four Shot. Since starting your channel and where it is now, where do you see your channel going?
Well, like I said, I did end up getting into writing after I started narrating. So currently, I really haven't posted much. but that's mostly just because writing is very time consuming, as one would imagine.
Yes.
But I do intend to get back into narrating, though it won't be on a weekly consistent basis. If I do, well, when I do end up doing it again, it'll probably end up being on a monthly basis because I'll probably end up hiring an editor because editing audio was always my biggest struggle because I'd stumble over my words pretty frequently and stuff. So reading out loud has never exactly been a strong suit of mine, but I still love narrating and doing voices. So I don't want to drop it altogether. So if I do end up coming back, it'll probably end up being just like a monthly upload thing. And then on my gaming channel, I do have some just concepts right now for things I want to do in the future, but it'll be way further down the line. So I haven't really delved into that.
Sounds really awesome. And real quick, everyone, please let's welcome Madam Raven to the stream. Hello, Madam.
And
Welcome, Madam.
And I would like to welcome Reaper's Horror Story to the chat. Welcome, Reaper.
Hey, Reapers. Glad you could be here, bud.
One of the first people to get me into the horror community right there.
Reaper's Horror. Just don't visit his crypt, and if you do, you better have a cat with you. Because if you don't, I'm sorry, but you're not leaving that cemetery. Anyways. Also, let's say hello to Christine Baker. Hey, Chris, I am 4. Thank you for being here. Christine. So you said you're into a lot of writing, and I've heard some of your writing. Excellent job, by the way. Is there someone that, or someone's in the horror community that hasn't read your works that you would like to read some of your work?
And I haven't actually really thought of that. Huh. Well, because like the main narrators I listen to, like Mr. Creepypasta, Nature's Temper, and Vidith are the main 3 that I listen to currently. And they've all done at least one of my stories. Like Mr. Creepypasta, he narrated REM sleep behavior disorder, one of my one-offs a while back. Nature's Temper did the first 10 parts to My Roommate is Slenderman. And then Vidith has done my series, The Strangest Lighthouse Around, as well as the one I mentioned earlier, The Cryptid Detective, which on my Reddit is The Other Edge of the Blade. I feel like he gave it a bit more of an oomph title than what I gave it. But yeah, so I haven't really thought about it. I mean, I think it would be cool to have Mr. Creepypasta narrate some more of my work, like some of my one-offs or something. Because I respect the hell out of him as a narrator and a person. So, but yeah, it would also be cool if Nature's Temper were to continue My Roommate is Slenderman. But while that would be cool, I completely understand it if he never does, because as it kept on going on, viewers, there's less and less viewers, so he makes a living off of it. So I completely understand if he doesn't end up continuing the series.
Right. That's a shame. Have you thought about reaching out to Dr. Creepin? He said he's down to collab with anybody. He only asked that the story be readable, and that you have a story ready for him.
Yeah, I mean, I have listened to Dr. Creepin. While I do respect him as a narrator, I've just never really been able to get into his narrations. Because for me, I have aphantasia, which means I don't have a mind's eye. And so I like the narrator I listen to have a lot of emotion in their voice and a lot of different voices that they can use.
Right.
Because it helps me differentiate. And so
Right.
when a narrator just reads in just any narrator reads in a monotone voice, or like they don't have a lot of emotion or a lot of different voices, I can't pay attention to the story because I can't see the story going on in my head. So I
Right.
relied entirely on the voice. But
Oh.
if he were to ask me if he could narrate one of my stories, I wouldn't turn him down because, like I said, I still respect the hell out of him. I just can't listen to his narrations.
It's understandable. I mean, there's someone for everyone, and then there's, and that's understandable. It really is. Now, Quipster Puck, you should get him to narrate one of your stories.
I don't think I've heard of him before.
I'll get you some his channel link after the show. But he's a hoot. He's a hoot. You want different voices? Like I was so used to his QP voice that a couple years ago when the Evil Outcast and I were in a Halloween collab with Dice Rollin', and the first story was from Quipster Puck. Well, Quipster Puck was narrating in his voice, but I wasn't used to that voice, and I'm like, who is this? And I felt so stupid because I'm like, you mean tell me you don't know QP's voice? It's like, duh. Because he's, like he did a skit with Fear Crawler and on the pizza one. Oh, you have to see that. That's hilarious. But
yeah, feel free to send it to me.
Okay. Yeah, he has a lot of inflection in his voice, so. So, Forshot, if you could pick 3 narrators in the horror community, and you're writing a story about those 3 narrators, and you're included, which 3 narrators would it be? Why? And of course, would it be a horror story? And give us a little bit about background on what type of horror story.
That is a good question. Oh, man. I need to take a moment here. Because I have never considered this. Well, I gotta throw Nature's Temper in there just because, like, he's a buff dude. He's funny. He's got a bunch of voices. So he definitely work well in a story like that. Because I'd probably go for, if anyone's ever listened to any of my stories or read them, while sometimes they are generally pretty serious, my series often have comic relief in them. And so I gotta have people in there who can tell serious jokes. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, probably Nature's Temper. And then, damn, I don't know. I guess I'd throw Mr. Creepypasta in there for his Jerry voice. If anyone's listened to Tales from the Gas Station, you know what I'm talking.
Right.
Then, man, I don't know, because I don't know how I'd construct a story around narrators, so I'm trying to think.
Who knows? There's a first time for everything. Mr. Creepypasta, Nature's Temper.
And then for the third, yeah, like he could either be the uncle that reads you bedtime stories or the serial killer who's oddly relaxed all the time.
Right, and that's disturbing on both ends.
Exactly.
Oh, what do you think his weapon of choice would be?
His weapon of choice. I feel like it would have to be something small, easy to miss.
A shiv?
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe a syringe filled with something.
Damn, get brutal.
like a syringe of something that gives you paralysis.
Ouch. I would still think a shiv would be worse because you get an artery with that motherfucker, it's gonna end badly.
Yeah, but if you also get air into a vein, that's a very painful way to die because once it hits your heart, it explodes it. So, yeah. I don't know this. You guys didn't hear that. I do not know this.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's now been told on the internet.
I have noticed a lag. I have noticed the stream is lagging a little bit. Someone pointed out that it kept buffering. I have noticed at least the screen has been lagging. Okay. I know that much. I have it muted, so I don't know if the audio has been lagging at all.
How is the stream now? Hello, director. Thank you for joining us. Are we still having technical difficulties? Let's see. Could you guys let us know in chat if we're having technical difficulties?
Yeah, if you guys could let us know if our audio sounds good.
Yeah, because it could just be on my end and Sock Goblin's end. I was trying to figure out how to shorten that name because that is a lot of words.
Just call him Socket. Sock.
Gotcha, Sock.
Sock. Or Goblin.
All right, we're good.
Yes.
Oh, and we didn't say hello. Oh, did we say hello to Derringer, our resident Derringer?
Yes,
okay.
We did. Okay. I mentioned him earlier.
Okay. Also, everyone, please welcome my daughter, BCS, Bubbly Couch Surfer, to the stream. Hello.
Comedic weapon can't beat a rubber chicken into a blackjack.
What?
It was Sock's comment. With a comedic weapon can't beat making a rubber chicken into a blackjack and stream smoothed out. Okay, stream smoothed out.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Oh my God, Goblin. Really?
Rubber chicken filled with birdshot BBs.
Also, if there's anyone in chat that has a question for 4Shot, please type it and we will get to your question.
Anyway, where were we?
Anyways, back to your story. So you have Nature, MCP, and Nightmind. So Nightmind's your villain. He's your killer. Mm-hmm. He's got a syringe full of stuff. You've got you have a comedian with y'all. So is this going to be a funny horror, or is this going to be a camp scene where, oh, there's a killer. Excuse me.
It's gotta be one of those like cabin in the woods style horror comedies. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods.
Yes. Yes.
It would be along those lines. Like there are legitimately scary parts to it, but it's generally a comedy. And like, oh man, I'm trying to think. It would have to be like his syringe just never breaks. Like he'll fucking stab it through a door to try and break through, and it just never breaks.
Oh my God, no.
Here's Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, and he just like pokes enough holes in it that he can eventually punch out a hole in the door. And then he makes that reference. At some point, I don't know when.
So we got a cabin in the woods. We've got our...
And then Nature's Temper would be the most terrified out of all of us because the scared buff dude is always funny to see.
Exactly. poor nature. We should get him.
The hell
Paralyzed and can't move. That's the end of you.
Mm-hmm. No, with them. Just kidding. Do we have any questions in the chat? Definitely. I don't see any yet.
I haven't, but I do love this comment from Sock Goblin. Exactly. Depending on where you hit someone and the angle you use, it's either less lethal or lethal.
Exactly, Goblin. It's like.
And I assume he's talking about the rubber.
The stream is buffering again.
Oh, it's buffering again. Okay.
I assume Goblin's talking about the rubber chicken filled with buckshot.
Probably. How is our audio? Give us a thumbs up if our audio's fine.
Think it's smoothed out?
Hopefully.
The pedals are falling slower, aren't lagging anymore. So.
Okay.
Okay. From what I am reading from Midnight Researcher, we are having some. This is kind of going to be a double question because you used to be a narrator and a writer, or you're a writer now and used to be a narrator. So this is going to apply to both of them. When it comes to your narration and writing styles and delivery, what do you think are your biggest strengths?
So I'm going to start with being earlier on in the story, and then I'm able.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
And I messed up pretty much everything you could possibly mess up with poker. Multiple people verbalized it. Some were kind. A couple weren't.
That's.
But yeah, I'd say another weakness I have is that I will often trust my memory more than I should. But another strength I have when it comes to writing is that I am able to make characters feel human by implementing my own personality traits and being able to grow them as characters by starting out with such a limited field of view. I've had multiple people tell me that my characters feel human, and I didn't really think about it too much until recently. Anyway, that got into a tangent.
You're fine.
And then I'd say, as for narrating, my biggest strengths are I'm able to learn accents really quickly. And so I'm able to do a lot of different voices. But if I don't spend the time to master it, then I will also forget it really easily, and I'll have to go back and relearn the accent. As far as weaknesses go, like I said earlier, I stumble over my words a lot, and so that adds to the time I have to spend editing.
Right.
But I'd say that's my greatest weakness. I used to have a problem with whistling S's, which you can hear in my earlier narrations. But I ended up solving that problem by working on how I pronounce the S sound, so they don't whistle as much anymore.
Right. You got this.
Right. Oh, there were a couple questions.
BCS said something, but
Okay. What was it before Director Void and Pimp?
no, go ahead and do Director Void and Pimp.
All right. Cool. So if you were a killer, what would your weapon of choice be? I have actually thought of this multiple times. Not because I want to murder people, but just because what else to do? That on the stream? Sorry, I didn't.
You should be fine.
You
All
should
right.
be.
my weapon of choice would be probably something extremely simple, like just a knife or something that I would be able to, like, stop someone's heart with or something. Because one thing I have heard from years of like listening to people who have killed and stuff like that, just off and on, the more convoluted you make your murder plan, the harder it is to get away with. Just kill someone, bury them in the desert. Who's gonna find it?
What was your weapon of choice?
Probably just a knife or something along those lines. Something simple. Listen, nothing too elaborate.
Right.
And then why Terry as a roommate? So some people might have pieced this together if they've listened to I Drive Her Server, a story narrated by Nature's Temper. But that story inspired me to write My Roommate is Slender Man. I was 17 and was not very subtle, so I ended up probably taking a little bit too much inspiration from Ray in that story, who is also Slender Man. But in order to make up for that, I tried to make the personality more different and three-dimensional. So that way, because, I was 17 at the time, and then as time passed, I was like, I want to give this character more depth anyway. And so I might as well try and change up their personality so it doesn't seem like I'm just ripping off the person. Because I love Mofucius's work, and as time passed, because when I was 17, that was the first story I'd written, and so I didn't even think about it. But yeah, as time passed, I was like, well, I need to make this character more different. So, and then I thought Terry would be a funny name because it's such an average name. Why would Slender Man go by Terry? I just thought it was funny.
Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, what was the next question for my believed director?
The one about the weapon was directors.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Pimp Demons was why Terry as a roommate. And then I don't know if this is a question from Sock Goblin to him or not, but Sock Goblin goes, I don't think that's a question for him. I don't know what that is.
So let's go
that was a continuation. Yeah.
Right. So you already explained about the roommate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Terry, I like that.
If anyone's interested, I can go into why I chose like a story the way I did.
Yes. Please.
So, because at the time, I had just gotten into like Tales from the Gas Station and I Drive for Server, like all these stories about like paranormal happenings, and I was like, so I want to make a story about Slender Man. How can I fit that in? And I was just like, well, there's already, basically Uber Eats. There's a gas station. There's a radio tower because of Counts from a Lonely Broadcast Station, which is a phenomenal story. I recommend you listen to it if you haven't. And I was like, what haven't people done? I was like, a roommate, because at the time I didn't know there was a story called My Haunted Roommate. My Roommate is a Haunted Doll. I didn't know that story existed. And so I thought it was something completely original. Well, not completely original, but you get the idea.
Right.
I was a new idea for how to tell a story. But at the same time, I was also listening to the stories by like Mr. Outlaw. And so I ended up wanting to implement action into the story, which is where all that action came from. And there is more to come in Act 3.
Oh. I'm down. Real quick, everyone, please welcome Dark Little Voices to the stream.
Welcome.
Welcome, DLB.
They were our guests last week.
Hey, CC, check the room in Discord real quick.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, keep this going, Wendigo. Ask the next question.
Alrighty, for shot.
Yes.
I guess we can go ahead and get a funny one out of the way. So, you are on death row. What would you like to be your last meal be? What did you do to get on death row? And how would you be executed?
All right. So what I did to get on death row, I would say I probably wasn't paying attention when I turned, when I took a right and I accidentally hit a biker. I myself am a biker. It's not because I hate bikers. It's just I have an attention thing. I haven't gotten looked at yet. And then my last meal, I would probably, I would go with. Oh shit! I know what I'd get. I would just get a giant platter of sushi. Just every kind of sushi I could think of. Because sushi is my favorite fucking food in the world. I don't care what anyone says. It is delicious. You're wrong. Get over it.
Sushi.
If you don't like sushi, I understand. I have friends who don't. I'm just comedic relief. And then the way I would want to go out, anti-tank rifle.
Dang.
Anti-tank rifle to the temple.
Well, shoot. That's more destructive.
That's
than
different.
Yeah, that's very different.
Just think about it. You're going to go out as the guy who got taken out by an anti-tank rifle from now on. That's a badass way to go.
Oh, goodness, that's funny.
Okay.
All right, and as a follow-up, who would you like to read your eulogy?
Who would you like me to write your eulogy, and who would you like to read?
I would like Neil Gaiman to write it.
Oh.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of the narrator. Oh shit. I think he was on Audible. Hold up. Because I've actually thought of this before. Like, who would I most want to read my eulogy? I initially thought Morgan Freeman, but then I was like, no, I know someone even better. Oh, where was it? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say I would like Mr. Creepypasta to read it in his Jerry voice, because that would be funny as shit. Oh wait, no. I would want Jack Townsend to write it as if Jerry were to write a eulogy, and then I would want Mr. Creepypasta to narrate it as Jerry. That would be my perfect eulogy.
Awesome. Wendigo, check the room.
He hasn't said nothing in there.
Okay. Well, so anyways, what time is it?
Oh, does Terry like yogurt?
It is 9:44 my time, which means it would be 7:44, I think.
7:44 my time. Shoot. Wendigo, this is for you.
Okay.
Keep it going. There's too much dead air. Keep it going.
So I would say that Terry does not like yogurt. He does like feasting on little children on occasion, but that is for lore reasons that I haven't gotten into yet. Essentially, because he's so old, he needs to eat on occasion younger cells in order to ensure that his body is able to keep on going. And another interesting factoid is that he has an organ specifically designed to produce stem cell-like cells, so that way he can rapidly grow and create tentacles out of seemingly nowhere. They're similar to stem cells, but not quite the same.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so four shot. With our final question, if you could take any chapter in your life and put it in one of your stories or in a book, you're writing a book, which chapter would that be and why?
Oh man, let me think. I'd say if it were for something like an autobiography, I would say what ended up getting me into writing to begin with. Because it actually started when I was, oh man, I'd have to say it all started when I was like 10 or so. So about 10 years ago. Holy shit. My cousin, I was spending the night at his house, and he showed me my first creepypasta, which was one about Slender Man, which is another reason why Slender Man holds a special place in my heart. It was the first creepypasta I ever listened to. And had that not happened, I never would have gotten into the horror community. And getting into narrating, I got into narrating because I enjoyed creepypastas and I wanted to try it out myself. And so then narrating led to me meeting T-Stash, which he asked me to narrate one of his stories. I actually asked him if he wanted to come on, but he said no. He didn't have time. And then that ended up leading me to writing in the same universe as him. And that is when I discovered a passion for writing. And I kind of just haven't stopped for the past few years. So yeah, I'd say what got me into writing is what I would have that chapter be. And it'd be in an autobiography.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool. So, unfortunately, everyone, we're going to have to cut the stream short. Four shot, if it is okay with you, we'd love to have you back on in the future, please. We are having technical difficulties. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the final everything. Again, congratulations to Furberry, 2K subscribers. Phoenix Fire Narrations on 1K subscribers. Four shot, awesome interview. Really looking forward to having you back. Thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat. Thank you to Seth, the man behind the yellow line. Again, remember next week, the 22nd, is a Grave Christmas. It is open show night. So if anyone wants to join, DM either myself, Phoenix Fire, the Sleeping Wendigo, or Filia Noctis. The week after that is our first annual New Year's show. Again, open show, a Grave New Year. So remember, until next week, stay frightened, and if you listen, the graves always whisper. And once you join the collective, you can join. You can leave, nevermore. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.